Dr. Alan Foster stared at the computer screen, his eyes wide with disbelief. The signal had appeared again, stronger this time. For 3 nights, the observatory's advanced radio telescope had picked up the same pattern from deep space, but tonight was different. Tonight, the signal was clear enough to analyze. "Susan, come look at this," he called to his colleague. Dr. Susan Miller abandoned her coffee and hurried across the control room. The Hillview Observatory was small but equipped with some of the most sensitive equipment available to astronomers. What had started as routine sky mapping had turned into something neither of them could explain. "It's repeating the same mathematical sequence," Alan said, pointing to the scrolling data. "Prime numbers, then what looks like coordinates." Susan leaned closer. "That's not random noise. That's impossible unless someone sent it." Alan finished her thought. They worked through the night, calling in Jack Wilson and Mia Rodriguez from the data analysis team. By morning, they had confirmed what seemed unbelievable. The signal contained specific information, coordinates, timestamps, and what appeared to be a message encoded in simple mathematical principles. "We need to bring this to Director Pearson immediately," Jack said, gathering their findings. The director listened silently as the team presented their discovery, his expression growing more concerned with each slide. "You're telling me we've received a communication from intelligent non-human entities?" Director Pearson finally asked. "The evidence suggests exactly that," Alan replied, "and we've managed to decode part of the message. It contains coordinates tracking an approaching fleet of objects and a timestamp counting down approximately 30 days from now." Mia stepped forward. "The most concerning part is the last section we decoded." She pulled up the final slide. "It translates roughly to, 'They come to harvest. You have 30 days.'" The room fell silent. Within hours, the observatory was swarming with government officials. The National Security Agency established a temporary command center, and the team's findings were being scrutinized by experts from across the country. "We remain skeptical," said Agent Lisa Dawson, the NSA liaison assigned to the case. "Unless we can verify these objects independently, this remains classified as an unexplained phenomenon." Alan argued passionately. "The mathematical precision in this signal is beyond anything we could attribute to natural cosmic events. Someone is warning us." The debate ended when a junior analyst burst into the room, tablet in hand. "Satellite imagery just picked this up," he announced, connecting his device to the main screen. The room stared at the images from a military satellite positioned near Jupiter. The footage showed multiple objects, their movement clearly directed rather than following natural orbital patterns. They were accelerating toward Earth. "How many?" Agent Dawson asked, her skepticism evaporating. "At least 17 large vessels," the analyst replied. "Based on their current trajectory and speed, they'll reach Earth in approximately 29 days. The revelation triggered an immediate response. Within hours, a closed session of the United Nations Security Council was called. Military forces worldwide were placed on high alert. Astronomers at observatories across the globe confirmed the approaching fleet. In the chaos that followed, Alan returned to the original signal data. Something about the warning bothered him. If these approaching ships were coming to harvest, then who had sent the warning? The message came from somewhere else, he told Susan as they reviewed the original signal direction. "Whoever warned us isn't part of that fleet." Susan nodded slowly. "So we have one potential enemy approaching, and one unknown ally who tried to warn us. The question is," Alan said, looking at the star map, "can we contact them back? Because right now, they might be Earth's only hope." 3 days after the discovery, the United Nations established a global task force headquartered at a secure facility in Geneva. Commander Olivia Rice, formerly of NASA's Defense Division, was appointed to lead the unprecedented operation. "What do we know about them?" she asked, addressing the assembled experts. Dr. Nathan Harris, a historian specializing in ancient civilizations, stepped forward. Based on the signal analysis and what our telescopes have observed, we believe they're called the Solarian Empire. A murmur passed through the room. You speak as if you've heard of them before, Olivia noted. That's because I think we have, Nathan replied, activating the display wall. For years, my colleagues and I have studied puzzling similarities in ancient texts and artifacts across disconnected civilizations. The screen filled with images of ancient tablets, cave paintings, and stone carvings from different continents. These depictions from Sumerian, Mayan, Egyptian, and Chinese sources all describe visitors from the stars who came to collect or harvest. The symbols associated with these accounts share distinctive patterns that match elements in the warning signal we received. Nathan zoomed in on specific details in the artifacts. They all describe the same cycle: visitors who return every few thousand years to gather resources. Are you suggesting this has happened before? Asked Dr. Miller, who had joined the task force from Hillview Observatory. I believe so, Nathan replied. And more importantly, these texts suggest there were others who tried to help humanity in the past. The room grew quiet as the implications sank in. Satellite imagery showed the Solarian fleet had passed Mars, maintaining their direct course toward Earth. Scientists estimated they now had just 26 days before arrival. We need to understand what they want, Olivia said, and we need to know who sent us the warning. In a separate wing of the facility, analysts worked around the clock studying the original warning message. Dr. Greg Patel, a quantum communications specialist, made a breakthrough on the 6th day. The signal contains embedded frequency markers, he explained to Olivia. They're not just telling us about the threat. They're showing us how to respond. Can we contact whoever sent the warning? Olivia asked. I believe so, but we'll need to modify our most powerful transmission arrays. While military forces worldwide mobilized, preparations for contact began. Using retrofitted satellite dishes from 3 major observatories, Earth prepared to send its first intentional response to an extraterrestrial intelligence. Meanwhile, Nathan pursued his theory about previous visitations. An old colleague in Mongolia sent in photographs of an unusual site discovered years earlier but kept from public knowledge. Commander, Nathan said, entering Olivia's office late one night, I think I've found something. He placed a folder on her desk containing satellite imagery of an unusual formation in the Gobi Desert. What am I looking at? She asked. Ground-penetrating radar reveals an object of non-terrestrial origin, buried approximately 50 meters below the surface. Carbon dating of the surrounding soil suggests it's been there for at least 3,000 years. The timing matches the last cycle in the ancient texts, Olivia realized. Exactly. And there's something else. Nathan pulled out an enhanced image. The object's composition includes elements not found naturally on Earth. 2 days later, an international team began excavation at the Gobi site. Just as Dr. Patel's team completed the modified communication array, the excavation team made contact with the buried object. It's responding to our presence, reported the lead archaeologist. The surface is changing, revealing what appears to be an entrance. As Earth prepared to broadcast its response to their unknown benefactor, Nathan's team cautiously entered what they now believe might be technology left behind to help humanity survive the Solarians' return. The race against time had taken an unexpected turn. The emergency United Nations session lasted 5 tense hours. For the first time in modern history, nations typically at odds with one another found themselves united by a common threat. The Chinese representative nodded at her American counterpart as they left the chamber. We have 22 days, President Rivera announced to the world that evening. Every resource, every mind, every capability we possess will be dedicated to our defense. Political conflicts that had seemed important just days ago now appeared meaningless. Military bases welcomed foreign specialists. Secret technologies were shared. Private companies opened their research to government agencies. At the Geneva headquarters, engineer Kate Martinez worked with a team of 50 specialists to amplify Earth's communication abilities. Traditional radio waves won't be enough, she explained, sketching a design on the whiteboard. We need to modify existing satellite arrays to create a focused beam. Her team worked around the clock, converting weather and communication satellites into components of a makeshift interstellar transmitter. Similar efforts were underway at facilities in Japan, Australia, and Chile. If we coordinate the pulse from multiple locations, Kate explained to Commander Reyes, we can achieve the signal strength needed to reach beyond our solar system. Olivia studied the plans. How soon can it be ready? 72 hours if everything goes perfectly. Make it 48, Olivia replied. The fleet just passed the lunar orbit. While Kate's team prepared the transmission, military forces worldwide conducted unprecedented joint exercises. Fighter pilots trained alongside former enemies. Submarines surfaced at neutral locations to coordinate defense strategies. Missile defense systems were recalibrated for targets approaching from space. We're outmatched technologically, General Roberts admitted during a strategy session, but we'll use every advantage our planet provides. Coastal batteries were established. High-altitude weapon platforms were deployed. Civilian populations in major cities began moving to designated shelter locations. On day 12, Kate's team was ready. The message needs to be simple but clear, Dr. Foster advised. He had joined the Geneva team after the Hillview discovery. Mathematical principles first, then our request for assistance. The transmission began at precisely 300 GMT. Satellite arrays around the world focused their energy on a distant point in space, away from the approaching Solarian fleet. The message, designed by linguists and mathematicians, conveyed Earth's situation and acknowledged the original warning. Message away, Kate announced as the system completed the transmission. Now we wait. The wait was shorter than anyone expected. In the Gobi Desert, Dr. Harris and his archaeological team had established a research camp around the excavation site. The buried object had revealed itself to be a metallic structure approximately 20 meters in diameter. Its smooth surface showed no signs of corrosion despite millennia underground. There are no visible seams or entry points, reported Dr. Samantha Lee, running her instruments over the surface. But it's definitely hollow. Nathan circled the object slowly. The ancient texts mentioned gifts left by the sky protectors. This could be exactly that. As Kate's transmission reached its peak power halfway around the world, the object in the desert began to change. A low hum filled the excavation site. The metal surface rippled like water. Everyone back, Nathan shouted, retreating from the pit. The team watched in amazement as a doorway materialized in the once seamless surface. Soft blue light emanated from within. Nathan's satellite phone rang. It was Commander Reyes. Something's happening, she said urgently. We've received a response. So have we, Nathan replied, watching as the doorway to the ancient device fully formed. The object is opening. Our message was acknowledged, Olivia continued. They sent 2 words. Shield before fight. We are coming. Nathan stared at the glowing entrance. I think they left us something to help with that first part. As military leaders prepared for a conflict unlike any in human history, the mystery of Earth's unknown allies deepened. Whatever was inside the Gobi Desert artifact might determine humanity's survival in the coming confrontation. The emergency United Nations session lasted 5 tense hours. For the first time in modern history, nations typically at odds with one another found themselves united by a common threat. The Chinese representative nodded at her American counterpart as they left the chamber. We have 22 days, President Rivera announced to the world that evening. Every resource, every mind, every capability we possess will be dedicated to our defense. Political conflicts that had seemed important just days ago now appeared meaningless. Military bases welcomed foreign specialists. Secret technologies were shared. Private companies opened their research to government agencies. At the Geneva headquarters, engineer Kate Martinez worked with a team of 50 specialists to amplify Earth's communication abilities. Traditional radio waves won't be enough, she explained, sketching a design on the whiteboard. We need to modify existing satellite arrays to create a focused beam. Her team worked around the clock, converting weather and communication satellites into components of a makeshift interstellar transmitter. Similar efforts were underway at facilities in Japan, Australia, and Chile. If we coordinate the pulse from multiple locations, Kate explained to Commander Reyes, we can achieve the signal strength needed to reach beyond our solar system. Olivia studied the plans. How soon can it be ready? 72 hours if everything goes perfectly. Make it 48, Olivia replied. The fleet just passed the lunar orbit. While Kate's team prepared the transmission, military forces worldwide conducted unprecedented joint exercises. Fighter pilots trained alongside former enemies. Submarines surfaced at neutral locations to coordinate defense strategies. Missile defense systems were recalibrated for targets approaching from space. We're outmatched technologically, General Roberts admitted during a strategy session, but we'll use every advantage our planet provides. Coastal batteries were established. High-altitude weapon platforms were deployed. Civilian populations in major cities began moving to designated shelter locations. On day 12, Kate's team was ready. The message needs to be simple but clear, Dr. Foster advised. He had joined the Geneva team after the Hillview discovery. Mathematical principles first, then our request for assistance. The transmission began at precisely 300 GMT. Satellite arrays around the world focused their energy on a distant point in space, away from the approaching Solarian fleet. The message, designed by linguists and mathematicians, conveyed Earth's situation and acknowledged the original warning. Message away, Kate announced as the system completed the transmission. Now we wait. The wait was shorter than anyone expected. In the Gobi Desert, Dr. Harris and his archaeological team had established a research camp around the excavation site. The buried object had revealed itself to be a metallic structure approximately 20 meters in diameter. Its smooth surface showed no signs of corrosion despite millennia underground. There are no visible seams or entry points, reported Dr. Samantha Lee, running her instruments over the surface. But it's definitely hollow. Nathan circled the object slowly. The ancient texts mentioned gifts left by the sky protectors. This could be exactly that. As Kate's transmission reached its peak power halfway around the world, the object in the desert began to change. The low hum filled the excavation site. The metal surface rippled like water. Everyone back, Nathan shouted, retreating from the pit. The team watched in amazement as a doorway materialized in the once seamless surface. Soft blue light emanated from within. Nathan's satellite phone rang. It was Commander Reyes. Something's happening, she said urgently. We've received a response. So have we, Nathan replied, watching as the doorway to the ancient device fully formed. The object is opening. Our message was acknowledged, Olivia continued. They sent 2 words. Shield before fight. We are coming. Nathan stared at the glowing entrance. I think they left us something to help with that first part. As military leaders prepared for a conflict unlike any in human history, the mystery of Earth's unknown allies deepened. Whatever was inside the Gobi Desert artifact might determine humanity's survival in the coming confrontation. The Exolarian fleet entered Earth's orbit with mechanical precision. 17 massive ships, each the size of a small city, arranged themselves in formation around the planet. From the ground, they appeared as new stars in the daylight sky, ominous and unmoving. They're launching smaller vessels, reported the orbital monitoring station. Hundreds of them. In the Shield Control Center, Kate and Lauren worked frantically at their consoles. The power grid across 6 continents had been modified to channel energy to the shield generators. Major cities worldwide have been plunged into scheduled blackouts to divert power to the defense system. All nodes reporting ready, Kate announced, her fingers flying across the interface. Shield integrity at 98%. Commander Reyes stood at the central command station, surrounded by military leaders from a dozen nations. Activate on my mark, she ordered. 3, 2, 1, mark. Kate pressed her palm against the activation panel. Around the world, 37 primary generators hummed to life simultaneously. The air crackled with energy as an invisible field began to form in the upper atmosphere. Shield extending, Lauren confirmed, watching the holographic display. Coverage at 60% and expanding. Above, the first wave of Solarian attack ships entered the atmosphere. They were sleek, predatory craft designed for planetary assault. Their weapon systems glowed as they prepared to fire. "Incoming attack," called out the radar operator. The lead Solarian vessels released a barrage of energy weapons. The beams streaked toward major population centers: New York, Beijing, Moscow, London. Seconds before impact, they struck the expanding shield. The sky lit up with brilliant flashes as the energy dispersed across the shield's surface. The control room erupted in cheers. "Shield holding at 93%, Lauren reported. "Complete coverage achieved." The Excelarian response was immediate and overwhelming. The entire fleet focused their weapons on the shield, creating a spectacular light show visible from the ground. The bombardment continued relentlessly. "Shield down to 87%. Kate warned after 10 minutes of sustained attack. "The power drained is exceeding our estimates." In orbit, a new development caught everyone's attention. A fleet of smaller, faster ships appeared at the edge of the solar system. "Asteri reinforcements have arrived," Ambassador Zara announced, her voice filled with relief. "The Coalition answered our distress call." The Asteri ships engaged the Solarian fleet in orbit, drawing some of the fire away from Earth. Brilliant explosions lit up space as the battle expanded around the planet. On the ground, military forces launched countermeasures against Solarian ships that probed for weaknesses in the shield. Fighter jets engaged alien craft that attempted to breach lower altitudes. "They're concentrating fire on the North American node," Kate reported. "Shield integrity dropping in that sector." Commander Reyes coordinated the defensive response. "Redirect power from Southern Hemisphere nodes to compensate. All available fighters to the breach point." The battle raged for hours. The shield flickered dangerously in places but held. The combined Earth military forces, fighting alongside Asteri tactical teams, maintained a defensive perimeter. Dr. Alan Foster had been analyzing Solarian ship movements from a secondary command center. He burst into the main control room, breathless with excitement. "I found something," he announced. "Their propulsion systems emit a specific radiation signature during attack maneuvers. There's a pattern to it, the vulnerability." "Explain," Commander Reyes demanded. "Their drive cores shift to an unstable configuration when they execute certain attack patterns. If we could deliver a precisely calibrated electromagnetic pulse at that exact moment, we might be able to disable their systems temporarily." The information was shared with the Asteri fleet commander. Within minutes, Coalition ships began targeting vulnerable Solarian vessels during specific maneuvers. "It's working," Security Director Krell confirmed, watching the tactical display. 3 Empire ships disabled. Despite this small victory, the shield continued to weaken under relentless bombardment. Warning alarms sounded throughout the control center. "Shield integrity at 42%, Lauren reported grimly. "At current attack rates, we have less than 2 hours before complete failure." Commander Reyes studied the tactical display, then turned to Ambassador Zara. "We need to take the fight to them." "Their command ship, can we board it?" Zara's expression was grim but determined. "It's never been done before. But we have no choice." As the shield flickered ominously above, plans for a desperate counter-offensive began to take shape. Commander Reyes zipped her flight suit and checked her weapon. The small team gathered in the Asteri shuttle bay included 6 humans and 4 Asteri, including Ambassador Zara herself. They represented Earth's last hope. "The plan is simple," Olivia explained, addressing the team. "We board the Solarian command ship using Asteri stealth technology. Dr. Foster's team has created a virus that will exploit the propulsion vulnerability. We need to reach their central computer core and upload it." Security Director Krell handed each team member a small device. "These will mask your life signs from their sensors. The command ship is 3 kilometers long with over 60 decks. We must move quickly and remain undetected. The shield around Earth was failing. In the control center, Kate and Lauren fought to maintain its integrity, rerouting power from every available source. Shield at 27%, Kate reported over the comm. You have 90 minutes at most. The Asteri shuttle departed the hidden base, its advanced cloaking system rendering it invisible to Solarian sensors. As they approached the massive command ship, the team witnessed the scale of the space battle. Dozens of ships from both sides were engaged, weapons fire crisscrossing the void between them. Approaching docking point, the Asteri pilot announced, "Their hull is composed of self-healing materials. We'll need to cut through manually." The shuttle attached itself to the underside of the command ship. Using Asteri cutting tools, they created an entrance and slipped inside. The interior of the Solarian vessel was unlike anything the humans had ever seen. The corridors pulsed with an eerie red light. The atmosphere was breathable but uncomfortably warm. "Their central core is 17 decks up," Krell whispered, consulting a holographic map. "We need to avoid their main patrol routes." The team moved silently through the massive ship. Twice they froze as Solarian guards passed nearby. Tall, armored figures with multiple limbs and insectoid features. "They're not what I expected," whispered Lieutenant Gary Powell, one of the human soldiers. "The Solarian are a collective," Zara explained softly. "Those are just drone workers. The true controllers remain hidden." On Earth, the situation grew desperate. The shield flickered visibly, creating momentary gaps that allowed smaller Solarian ships to approach the surface. "We're losing power to the Asian nodes," Kate reported. Shield integrity at 19%. Inside the command ship, the team encountered their first obstacle, a sealed door blocking access to the central core. Dr. Ryan Baker, a computer specialist, examined the alien control panel. "Similar encryption to what we found in the artifact," he noted. "I think I can bypass it." As Ryan worked, Krell suddenly tensed. Movement approaching. Large group. The team pressed themselves against the walls as a contingent of Solarian drones marched past the adjacent corridor. When they had passed, Ryan returned to the panel and successfully opened the door. The central core was a vast chamber dominated by a pulsing crystalline structure. Energy flowed through transparent conduits connecting to various systems throughout the ship. "There," Krell pointed, "the main interface." As they approached, the room suddenly brightened. A voice spoke in a strange, multi-toned language. "They've detected us," Zara warned. "We have minutes at most." Ryan rushed to the interface, connecting their device containing the virus. The team formed a defensive perimeter as the sounds of approaching guards echoed from the corridors. "Uploading now," Ryan announced. 30 seconds to completion. The first Solarian drones burst through the entrance. The team opened fire, their weapons, enhanced with Asteri technology, proving effective against the alien armor. "Upload complete," Ryan shouted as the interface flashed. Throughout the ship, systems began to fail. The lights flickered, and the constant hum of machinery faltered. The effect spread rapidly to connected vessels. "Back to the shuttle," Commander Reyes ordered. "Move." Fighting their way through disoriented drones, the team retreated along their entry route. Above Earth, the effect of the virus became visible as multiple Solarian ships lost power and drifted out of formation. The shuttle detached from the command ship just as massive systems failures cascaded through the Solarian fleet. Ships lost power, weapons went offline, and communication systems failed. On Earth, Kate watched in amazement as the Solarian attack suddenly ceased. "They're retreating," she announced incredulously. "The remaining ships are withdrawing." The Asteri shuttle returned to Earth amid celebrations. The virus had worked beyond their expectations, disabling the Solarian command structure and forcing the remaining functional ships to retreat. 1 year after the Solarian retreat, Earth had changed in ways few could have imagined. The Sydney spaceport bustled with activity as both human and Asteri ships arrived and departed daily. What had once been an airport now served as humanity's primary gateway to the stars. Dr. Alan Foster adjusted his new uniform, the dark blue with silver trim of the Joint Scientific Council, as he watched a group of human students board a shuttle bound for the Asteri Education Center on their moon base. "Still can't believe it sometimes, can you?" Kate Martinez asked, joining him at the observation window. Her engineering expertise had earned her a leadership position in the Earth-Asteri Technology Exchange Program. Alan smiled. "That we went from fighting for survival to exploring the galaxy in 1 year. It feels like a dream." They walked together through the spaceport, passing shops where alien foods and goods were sold alongside Earth products. The integration had been challenging but remarkably smooth. Humans, it turned out, were highly adaptable. "The Defense Council meets in an hour," Kate reminded him. "Commander Reyes wants your report on the early warning system." The system Kate mentioned was a network of sensors extending throughout the solar system, designed to prevent another surprise like the Xelarian attack. It represented just one of hundreds of joint projects now underway. At United Earth headquarters in Geneva, formerly the UN building, Commander Reyes reviewed status reports from Earth's first 3 deep space vessels. Built with Asteri assistance, these ships were already exploring nearby star systems. Each carried scientific teams from multiple nations, another sign of Earth's new unity. "Our patrol ship Defender reports no sign of Xelarian activity in the outer system," her assistant reported. "They'll be back," Olivia said quietly. "The Empire doesn't surrender territory easily." Ambassador Zara, now a permanent liaison to Earth, entered the office. The Asteri had established an embassy in Geneva, though many of their representatives lived among human communities around the world. "The Coalition Council has approved your request," Zara announced. 5 additional defense platforms will be constructed in your outer system." Olivia nodded gratefully. "And the training program for our military personnel. 30 more human officers will join our academy next month," Zora confirmed. "Your people learn remarkably quickly." In the Gobi Desert, the site where the ancient artifact had been discovered was now home to the Earth History Center. Dr. Nathan Harris led teams of human and Asteri historians, documenting the long, secret relationship between their civilizations. "The evidence suggests at least 7 previous encounters," he explained to a group of visitors. Each time, the Asteri left subtle guidance to help humanity advance. Among the center's most popular exhibits was a timeline showing parallel developments on Earth and Asteri worlds. Visitors were often surprised by how much human mythology and scientific inspiration had possibly come from these earlier contacts. Perhaps the most profound changes were cultural. Knowing humans were not alone in the universe had transformed religion, art, education, and politics. Old conflicts seemed petty in the face of cosmic threats and opportunities. In a classroom in Nairobi, children learned about Asteri biology alongside human anatomy. In Beijing, engineers adapted Asteri sustainable energy systems to power the massive city. In Brazil, agricultural scientists incorporated alien farming techniques to restore rainforest areas while increasing food production. Not everyone welcomed these changes. Some isolated communities rejected Asteri influence, fearing the loss of human culture and independence. Their concerns were taken seriously by both Earth leaders and the Coalition, who maintained a policy of non-interference with these regions. As the sun set over the Pacific Ocean, Ryan Baker stood on the deck of his beach house, watching the lights of an Asteri ship rise from the nearby Coalition outpost. Once a computer specialist, he now served as a communications liaison between species. His communication device chimed. The message was from an Asteri colleague. Unusual energy signatures detected near Pluto's orbit, similar to Xelarian patterns but not identical. Ryan's relaxed mood vanished. He immediately forwarded the message to Commander Reyes and headed inside to pack. Their victory, it seemed, had brought both new allies and new challenges. The story of humanity among the stars was just beginning.